Today, let's begin our show with Panchatantra by Aparna Ramaswamy. Today, Mrs. Ramaswamy continues the story of the birds and the ocean.
Good morning, I'm Aparna Ramaswamy, continuing with our narration of the Panchatantra. We are at a point in the story where a couple of birds had laid eggs and the ocean sent a wave and the eggs have been washed away. And they are so angry and they're plotting a way to get back at the ocean and teach him a lesson. So these birds call all the bird species and say, well, we have to be united. We have to stand together and show the ocean not to treat us with inconsideration. So these birds say, yeah, do you remember the story of the goose and the hunter? And the other birds say, well, what is that? They say, well, once upon a time, on an old banyan tree, there lived a flock of geese. There was one wise goose that lived in that tree. And he saw that over time there was a vine, a creeper, that was growing up the banyan tree. And he warned all the other birds there, saying, listen, in time, this vine is going to get so strong that we are going to be in danger. There may be people who are able to climb onto this. So let's cut this vine now when it's young. It'll be easier to do it rather than when it gets much older and strong. The other geese just ignore him and says, old fellow, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And they just continue on their life. Now, just as predicted, this vine over time becomes very strong, and one day the hunter is able to come up onto it and he casts a net over all of these geese. They're all trapped, and then they now turn to the old goose and says, well, we're sorry we didn't listen to you, but can you give us an answer now? Can you tell us how we can free ourselves? So the goose thinks about it for a while and he says, okay, I have a plan, so listen up and let's do exactly the way I'm saying. So just as he said, when the hunter came the next morning, all of these geese lie down as if they're dead. And they're pretending to be that way. The hunter is fooled, so he removes a net and one by one he tosses these birds down to the ground. Now when every last one of them is cast down, till that time, all of these geese lie down on the ground pretending to be dead. The moment the last one is tossed down, they all, as if on cue, fly away together. Now the bird narrating the story says, now if we come up with a plan and every one of you follows it, then we should find a way to overcome this. Let's go to the king of all of our birds, Garuda, and ask him for his guidance. What happens next? Please join us in for the next episode of the Panchatantra. I'm Aparna Ramaswamy.